Hey guys, Matt here. So, 2 weeks ago, I sold Hyliion. If you've been following my channel, I have a whole playlist, which you can watch up here, which I go over, I go over Hyliion from the moment I bought it until, when I recently sold it. Like I said, 2 weeks have passed, and I've been looking back, because as I like to do when I make any major move, in order to help me become a better investor in the future. And I gotta say, as far as selling Hyliion, I don't feel bad about it at all. Not one bit. And in this video, I kind of want to go over, the mistakes I made when buying Hyliion, and the mistakes I made when not choosing to sell when I should have. Let's talk about it. So when researching to buy a stock, or at least when I research to buy a stock, what I like to do is, you look at all of the available data, and then you come up with a bullish thesis, a reason why you buy the stock. And now that reason could be as simple as, well, because this business is going to make a lot of money in the future, and so therefore I'm going to make a lot of money from the stock. That could be your entire bullish thesis. So this right here, the information I'm going to use in this video is taken from Hyliion's, I think it was their very first PDF, that their investor overview that they sent to potential investors in the middle of 2020. Keep in mind that this was during the pandemic, while everything was still going crazy. And this was released before they went public. Now, before we continue, in case you think this is stuff that I'm pulling out of my ass, now you're not going to find this PDF easily on Hyliion's website, because I don't think they want you to see this. However, if you go to Google and you search for Hyliion Investor Overview PDF, you will find this document here, which you can see is on Hyliion's website. There's the URL right there, and this will take you to this page right here. Now, part of my bullish thesis is that there is the hybrid electric, though the vehicles themselves were absolutely amazing. I'm not going to go over the details of that because I've done it in previous videos. Needless to say, I was really a fan of the hybrid electric, and I still am right now. And I'm a huge fan of the Hypertruck ARX. I thought that their decisions to go renewable energy semis, I thought that was very smart, and I also applauded their choice in using renewable natural gas, because this is a resource you can pull up a map on it if you want to. This is a resource that is abundant around the country, unlike hydrogen and electricity. It is obviously available, but the time to recharge a regular Tesla, an hour for a recharge, I don't know how long that's going to take to recharge a semi. Going renewable natural gas, I thought was a very good solution. And also, Hyliion wasn't selling full semis. They would take existing Class 8 semis and retrofit them, because lack of a better word, they would rip out the old diesel engine and a lot of stuff, and they would install Hyliion and stuff in there. Needless to say, I was a very big fan, and I am a very big fan of Hyliion's products themselves. Part of our bullish thesis, now I'm not going to use words like lie or anything like that in this video, because, I'm a small YouTube channel. I don't want to put words in Hyliion's mouth. These are forward-looking statements. Investors shouldn't place any undue caution, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. But anyways, according to the PDF that they told investors, the hybrid electric was available at the time of the PDF, so in mid-2020. They said that the Hypertruck ARX, which is the main thing that they want to be known for, was supposed to go into volume production, which means, we're going to start making money in 2022, so just over a month from now. And they were expected to sell. Now, keep in mind, that's the word sold, which means, you give a product or a service in exchange for money. They were supposed to sell 20 hybrids in 2020, 300 hybrids in 2021, and then 4,100 hybrids in 2022, and so on and so on and so on. And in revenue, $1 million last year, $8 million this year, and you know the drill. Anyways, fast forward to now. Well, no, let's stay there for a second. And this is what I believe. This is part of my bullish thesis, that Hyliion was going to achieve some part of this over their lifespan, because why not, right? And I believe this without any proof from Hyliion that they can actually do this. I just took Hyliion at their word. I took these estimates, and I placed my bets based on them. Now, I wasn't gonna buy Hyliion at $48 and $50, right when the investment. I wanted to see the investment drop to $16, at least $16, and then I wanted to see a lot more customer interest in the products. So that was my bullish thesis at the time. And my first mistake was believing Hyliion can do this without any proof from Hyliion's in that they can actually accomplish it. That was my first mistake. Now, as far as I like to do while investing, when the fundamentals of a business change, at that point, you should evaluate whether you need to still be in the stock or not. That's my rule going into this. Let's fast forward to today. First of all, hybrid electric units sold? No, that didn't happen yet. Now, they did release something in a earnings report, slated at the end of 2020, that there were hybrid units delivered, installed. I remember them using those words. They never, now this is all in hindsight. I don't think they used the word sold. I just got to keep that in mind. They didn't recognize revenue. Needless to say, none of this happened at all. 2020, no revenue. No units sold in exchange for money, because that would have mean they would have recognized revenue. That didn't happen. 2021, as far as we know, there was one hybrid unit sold. Now, there were more, but they reported in their last earnings report that a lot of the deliveries may not take place until 2022. So, but as far as we know, there has been one. So this hasn't happened yet. This revenue is probably not even going to come close. And not only that, this isn't even the worst part of it. They stated at the end of in 2021, their first quarter, they stated then that they were hoping to go commercial with their hybrids. Commercial with their hybrids at the end of 2021. That right there, again, I don't want to use the word lie because they're not lying. These are forward-looking statements. They were definitely wrong. I think we can objectively say that. They were wrong. And my second mistake, and probably my biggest mistake, is right then and there, the fundamentals of the business had changed drastically. I should have sold my shares right then and there. But I didn't. For some reason, I kept holding out hope for the company that because they seemed to be starting to pull things together. I mean, they were showing all those shots from customers that they delivered the Hyliions to. Now, at the time, we thought it was in exchange for money because they never said it wasn't. But needless to say, like we started seeing a lot of customer interest and stuff like that, and that's all well and good, but none of it was in exchange for money. I mean, so at the time, I thought they were getting their shit together. But then in the second and third quarter, as far as their ERXs, the product that they were supposed to be known for, they kept pushing things back little by little. And people kept telling me in the comments, oh, they're hitting all their milestones. No, they're not. They're missing the most important ones. And I held on to the stock because I had hope. I had hope that they were getting their shit together. And I think I said in one of my later Hyliion videos, and if you've been following my Hyliion playlist for some time, you probably would have noticed that, as we got closer and closer to the end of that playlist, that my opinion started getting we can call it a little sour towards the company as time wore on. But anyways, one of my opinions, and I don't remember which video it was that if Hyliion delayed the ERX by a year or more, roughly a year or more, that I would dump my shares. I would sell out. And fast forward to this earnings report, this past one, Hyliion delayed the ERX, and at least until 2023. That's if things go well. If things go perfectly well, to be honest, they didn't even really say 2023. All they said was they're going to start their winter testing in second half of 2022. They start winter testing to be followed by all these other things. And I don't know how long all these other things are going to take. So we're guessing 2023, best case scenario, and it might be longer than that. Now, I know that wasn't exactly a year of delay, but honestly, the fact that they don't know, and now, granted, a lot of this wasn't their fault. It was due to the supply chain shortages and all that stuff. But like, I didn't buy into Hyliion to watch Hyliion grow and blossom over time as a company. And Hyliion made his first sale. No, I invested in Hyliion just like a lot of other early investors did because Hyliion supposedly already had their shit together. That was the deal. We didn't come into Hyliion to watch them, build out the board of directors over time and all that stuff. They were supposed to already have that in place, and the fact that they don't, that destroys my bullish thesis entirely. And I still care about the company, which is why I'm going to keep making Hyliion videos from time to time. It's just that I don't really feel comfortable putting my money behind it for now. I have much better places to put it, at least for the time being. And there's also the fact that, now I'm not going to pause and read this, you can read this if you want to, is that Hyliion now has competition on both its hybrids and its ERXs by a little-known company called Cummins, which is it's a much, much, much bigger company, which is developing a 15-liter natural gas engine, which could rival the ERX. Now, that's going to be a while before that comes into fruition, but the point is that Hyliion now has competition to deal with. Now, you might have a completely different bullish thesis, a completely different outlook on Hyliion, and that's perfectly fine. After all, at the end of the day, a bullish thesis is just an opinion. You take a look at all the data that you have presented before you, and you form an opinion. And I could be completely wrong. Like 3 or 5 years from now, I could be completely wrong. And I'd be happy if I am, because if I'm wrong, I will be a Hyliion shareholder. Yeah, imagine that. Shares can be bought back. Me selling out of Hyliion doesn't make time stop. There's no game over sign. If I'm wrong, shares can be bought back. And I have thought about that. I have thought about that possibility. But I need to see a lot more from Hyliion than I have. I need to see more proof from Hyliion that it can actually execute on not just surviving, but actually thriving in the future. I need to see a lot more than that. And I need a lot more than just hopes and dreams. I need to see Hyliion actually achieving some of the, really, really critical milestones, such as actually making, giving us some guidance, making some sales, all that stuff. I need to see a lot more than I have been seeing. And you will note I have not mentioned the stock price. I don't care if Hyliion is trading at $3, and I don't care if Hyliion is trading at $13. The stock price does not matter to me right now. What does matter is my faith that Hyliion is going to be able to thrive in the next 3 to 5 years. And so far, the things I've seen don't really convince me of that. But anyways, take care, have a great day, and eat your vegetables.